Let's explore the vision services with H2O.ai. Because modeling starts with data, let's have a look at Label Genie, our collaborative annotation tools that uses zero-shot, generative AI, and clustering to help you with your data labeling task applied to audio, natural language processing, and computer vision. I can import my own data in Label Genie and collaborate with my colleagues. For the demo, I will use the set of image of car and coffee to perform image classification labeling. I can start with a new clustering task. This will allow me to help with my annotation efforts and accelerate the labeling process. I know that there is 2 clusters here, car and coffee. Once the clustering is completed, I can look through the images and the cluster they've been assigned to. Here we're cluster 0. We see that the clustering is probably very accurate in discriminating between car and coffee. I can now export the cluster to use in downstream task to train a model in Hydrogen Torch, driverless AI, or any deep learning framework of my choice. I will use H2O Hydrogen Torch, our no-code deep learning platform, to demonstrate our computer vision capabilities today. Let's have a look at completed experiments here. Let's open the CT scan experiment. We can see the charts corresponding to the loss and metrics value during the training process. Let's have a look at the validation prediction insights. Here we can compare the true and predictive mask. Let's have a look at the worst validation samples and let's zoom in. That looks pretty cool. Let's deploy this model now. The status of the deployment is now pending. Let's have a look at the other experiment. Similarly then for the CT scan, you can see the batch loss and you can see the metric here, mean absolute error, value through the training process. Again, let's have a look at the validation prediction. Let's have a look at the worst validation samples. Perhaps the contrast here in the picture isn't so great. Let's have a look at the interpretation insights. Now we can highlight the area which explain the predictions from the model. We can see the best validation samples. Here we see clearly that the model did not have any issue to find out that this is 100 cents or €1. We can now look at the best validation samples where the model performed very well. Looks like it does very well when there is only one coin on the image. Also does well as well when there is a high contrast between the coins. Let's have a look at the worst validation sample now. Here the contrast isn't so good and the coins are really close to each other, so quality will probably have an impact on the model performance. Please note that Hydrogen Torch uses augmentation of the data by resizing and flipping data to augment the data you have and ensure robustness of your model. Let's get back now to the CT scan to see how the deployment is going. I can see now it's in a healthy state. And I can get the endpoint on which I can use to score any images. And I have a sample request in Python that I can use to read an image and get a prediction on that image. Document AI is the engine that allows you to classify documents and extract text, images, and tables from documents. Let's create a demo project and let's add a few documents to it. Once this is done, we can apply OCR or optical character recognition. Once the OCR is completed, we can have a look at it, check the results, and we can start adding either region attributes or file attributes. Here we're going to just use region attributes to look for date of birth and telephone within each document. We're applying bounding boxes and classifying each of these boxes. Once this is done, we can apply labels. These labels will be used to train our token labeling model. We can check that it all looks good and train our model. Let's call our model model demo. And we can now publish that model into a publish pipeline. This will allow us to use it later for scoring new documents. We can customize the custom post processor, customize the pipeline to allow us, for example, to change the threshold of classification, and we can publish. As well as querying and summarizing documents or just chatting, open source H2O GPT allows the user to generate images.